Okay, I haven't looked at this at all. This is a new Wowhead article regarding Season 2 of Mythic Plus season affixes. This is all I know. No seasonal affix in Dragonflight Mythic Plus Season 2. Level 7 affixes getting affix refresh. So I was actually not really... I didn't know that certain affixes were going to be... were level 7 ones. In my mind, it was just like... because I only do high keys. No, I don't fucking know. It's just, in my mind, it was affix 1 and affix 2, and there was certain pulls for both. And so now that I've seen it, it like makes sense, but I just never really thought about it. I really wish these 4 dungeons were in the rotation already. I've said that before. I wish season 1 of Dragonflight was all Dragonflight dungeons. I like the thought of mixing it up. However, this is a new expansion. I want to do the new shit. I want to play the new things, you know? And also, I'm worried about the length of Uldaman. I think it's going to be another the other side dungeon or something like that, where it's just going to be 50 minutes of fun. Seasonal affix to Dragonflight Season 2, added in BFA to change up gameplay for season to season. Dungeons didn't change. Invested to Thundering. Yeah, for sure. Thundering, not my favorite. Not my favorite. Actually, one of my favorite affixes, seasonal affixes, was... I liked Prideful. It was a bitch as a healer sometimes, but I really liked Prideful because it made you change how you played the dungeons. And there was like some cool ways to do it. And I also liked... This is just from a player's perspective, not MDI perspective. I liked Season 4 of BFA, where you could spawn the bad dudes from the obelisk and like... teleport around to get the ideal trash. That was legit. Like the fact that you could kill or spawn the dude, go into the void realm and run around, and where you killed him, he dropped the portal out. That was legit. I thought that was super cool. Yeah, and the other part is I wish all the Dragonflight dungeons were made Season 1 so we could tune them all right away. I thought that would have been sick. But I don't know. The only thing I didn't like about Prideful was the fact that DPS people, if there was Prideful before the boss on a high key, they would not hit a DPS cooldown. And as a healer, I'm like, you know, the meme of the dude, dude sweating a lot. Meme. This guy. I was like, this guy right here. Oh, yeah, this is a good one, too. This was like a healer in Prideful when all DPS is like, nah, boss is next. Can't hit a button. You're like, fuck it. All right. Dragonflight adding dungeon rotation. Blizzard felt it might not need a seasonal affix at all to change dungeons from season to season. An answer to Jez from Windows Central. No idea. It must have been an interview with Morgan Day. Announced no affix, seasonal or otherwise, will be added to Keystone level 10. Morgan. In terms of the philosophy of affixes, in particular for Season 2, we've definitely taken a big step back there and are looking at it holistically. One major change we're making is we're actually just not going to have a level 10. That is going to say the seasonal affix like Thundering. There won't be a replacement for Thundering, and Thundering is being retired. Yes. So at level 10, the scaling will continue to kick in, but there's no affix there. Seasonal affixes were created as an idea. Back at BFA, same dungeon pool, add 1 or 2 dungeons here and there. Sure. Seasonal affixes were trying to solve the problem of it feeling like dungeons were solved, like there was a specific route. Yeah, and I think some of them really nailed it, and some of them didn't feel like that. Thundering just feels like more blue pools on the ground that you can hit and maybe sometimes not see, but you're actually bad, and it's not the game's fault, it's your fault. Just keep thinking about it, but it's also the game's fault. And that's WoW Mythic Plus. Looking at Dragonflight, we were like, well, we don't need to solve that problem anymore, but maybe there's a way to add some amount of gameplay that feels more like a persistent element of the dungeon. But ultimately, we've heard a lot of feedback and around complexity. Like, how much stuff do I have to know to do? What's going on, and how many wrenches are you going to throw at me? Not even just dodgeballs, but wrenches we're throwing at you that you have to dodge. Definitely take it real quick. Oh, okay, cool. Sure. This is kind of, the back half is kind of what I just reiterated. Level 7 bucket affix buffet. Level 7 bucket affix refresh. Taylor, you talk for a fucking living. Affixes have always been a popular community topic, but especially recently, with many players feeling frustrated at some weekly Mythic Plus affixes, such as Grievous and Quaking. Grievous? No. Okay, I'll talk about that. Difficulty and complexity of dungeons, dragonflight going up. We always have to deal with these affixes. Have been even more troublesome. Okay. Grievous is a hard affix. It's kind of obnoxious. I don't think it's horrible. Grievous and bursting together, immense pain. Horrible, horrible, horrible amount of pain. I don't think they should, I don't think they have the affixes to put an affix at level 10. I think they need to revamp it and come up with a bunch of new ones just for the first 2 slots of affixes, and then from there go forward. I think putting an affix at level 10 is just going to compound the fact that people believe that affixes are meant to become like not a torturous system, but there's that thought going around right now where it's like you log it on Tuesday and go, okay, well, what shit do I have to deal with this week, right? I think it would just be a compounding effect at level 10 if you just put another thing like that punished how the game went. Move the level slot from 5 to 6 and 7 to 10 to spread them out. I don't think that's really needed, because after you get above level 10, you start getting extra rewards. I don't really know, really. Punish it? Man, maybe. What up, Sarge? How you doing, brother? I don't know, because then the beginning slot feels a little easy, and actually right around level 10, scaling starts to become like a little more serious. Why do you guys talk like this sometimes? Are you? I'm worried. In a follow-up, Jess from Windows Central, Morgan Day addressed some of these concerns, announcing they're looking at the level 7 affix bucket, Quaking, Grievous, Volcanic, Storming, Explosive. That's kind of cool. Quaking just got back from deployment. Oh, dude, nice. I was actually just thinking it was a day off. Nice. Hopefully just relaxing, brother. Hopefully just relaxing. I really fucking hated Quaking this season so far, because they implemented so many things already that stop casting, right? Am I still logged in? I am. Like, the dungeons. No good offensive. Is there one here where you have to stop casting? No, but like you there's a lot of movement, but that's not the same. Halls of Valor. No. This is bad. Why is my brain so bad? Croth from here does it. Why is my brain so bad right now? This guy does it. He does it interrupting cloudburst. It's just like one of these does it. I thought. Whatever. It's so annoying that I now am sometimes in a scenario where I have to stop casting, and then Quaking happens, and so there's just like a crap ton of time where I'm just hitting like Rushak, Rushak, Rushak. It's that boy. I guess he's feeling better, so he can come upstairs. Fenrir Hal, yeah, that's what it is. And you fight Fenrir twice, so it's kind of annoying. Nobody gave Tom a treat already. I took the treats off because Tom's arthritis has been really, really bad, and we've just started him on new stuff. So, yeah, he did. He gets 3 treats a day that are natural supplements to help with joint pain, CBD oil, and Galliprant, which is an anti-arthritis med. But I took it off because of that. Anyways, I'm going to keep petting him while talking. But it just felt like Quaking was so rough this expansion because there are so many things that are consistently happening that already made you stop casting. And then you just get now punished for it again because of an affix that is, for melee, just don't stack for it. But yeah, okay. Morgan, then we're taking a really closer look at the level 7 bucket and how much opportunity is there for counterplay. How much of that is really making your healer's life harder? And how much of that is there an opportunity where if I play really well, I can negate this affix and use my utility really well? Yo, Mage Guild Games. Oh. So we're definitely taking a look at the whole level 7 bucket. Really looking more along the lines of an affix reaver. Yo, what's up? Appreciate it. Hello, hello. How are you? I think this is going to be a good change overall. Squishy, isn't this the druid player? I think this is a good change. I think Blizzard's affix system needs some changes. I think the healing combat, or like some of the combinations have just been horrible. Grievous bursting, really, really bad. But I don't really know. I don't really know what it is, right? I'm not a game developer. I don't really have any prominent ideas. I'm just this big dumb idiot who plays too many video games, World of Warcraft included, you know? So I'm just kind of hanging out. I'm excited to see what it does, how keys feel. I'm excited to not get... Thundering is cool, and I like the reward sometimes that the level 10 affixes have brought, but I think maybe... Okay, so we'll see a natural progression of keys getting higher and higher due to power creep within the expansion, but we will see probably a less so of a scale if there's no level 10 affix that you can min-max for more and more damage, right? Because people are using Thundering at higher keys to pump out more damage. Same thing with Prideful, so they can do a big key with Pride or whatnot. Things like that. So I'm wondering if we'll see a jump in key level, but not as much as we've seen in the past, going from patch to patch to patch. Be interesting to like see and pay attention to. But I'm happy about this. I'm optimistic. This is like the first step. I think Mythic Plus is a really incredible thing. I really would love to see them put a lot of time into it because people are obviously loving Mythic Plus. People do it a lot. It's a very serious way to gear and like play the game. So I hope it's good. I'm worried about the tuning in the beginning of these new dungeons. Do we know what the new dungeons are going to be in combination? Do we know? Mythic Plus is the only one I want to play at all. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Guard Pinnacle. Is this Neltharian's Lair? Freehold. Underrot. Is that what they are? Neltharian's Lair, Freehold, Underrot, Vortex Pinnacle. Vortex Pinnacle. Oh, that's what I meant. Obviously, it's not Utgard. I have this mount. I'm a gamer. Let's think about this. I liked Neltharian's Lair. I liked Freehold. Underrot was fine. It was fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. The end boss was weird in Underrot, right? Because you do damage to spawn an ad, kill the ad. It takes health because you can't actually do normal damage to it. What are you up to, bud? Sniff snoffing around. Or chances for shark bait. I actually think I have shark bait as well. Vortex Pinnacle will be the one. Vortex Pinnacle is going to be the dungeon that determines how well Blizzard is going to be able to reinstitute old dungeons into modern content with modern things, right? Because I think Shadow Moon Burial Grounds was the kind of the start of that, if I'm remembering it right. But Shadow Moon Burial Grounds is notoriously just the easiest key to do right now. Court of Stars also the easy, like those two are the easiest keys to get done. So it's going to be interesting how Vortex Pinnacle works going through it. Baseline to slow down Mythic Plus. Well, the thing about, oh yeah, TJS was like that. But they changed mobs and they changed things in Temple of the Jade Serpent, right? Boss 2, well, it depends how you go. But boss 2, like the lore boss, is only that one boss. And then the mobs before the last boss are changed, and that's like notoriously a horrible pull for tanks. And you can't go behind Wise Mari unless you do like a post. I don't really know. But normally, I was just leveling recently. If you killed Wise Mari, the door opened it behind, and you could skip the lore boss entirely. Yeah, whatever. But I'm interested to see how it goes. I think Vortex Pinnacle, you have to like click on those tornadoes and be teleported around, and that will suck. But it fresh in my mind is like the Bastion dungeons, Spires of Ascension. That was just like so the RP of just clicking on an angel and flying. Just really a horrible thing. Which is funny because Neltharian's Lair has you do the Hobbit boat or river ride in a barrel or something. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how this goes. This is like the one I'm the most excited for, not necessarily because I think it's going to be the most fun, but because it's going to be most interesting to follow. My first answer to question from Michael at .esports about why these dungeons were picked. Oh, okay, good. In terms of dungeons that are selected from season to season, do you try to tie in those into what's happening into the Dragonflight story? There are 4 dungeons that are just the remaining Dragonflight dungeons. We're not in season 1. Neltharis, Uldaman, Halls of Infusion, Brackenhide. That's 4 of the dungeons, and the other 4 are Underrot, Freehold, Nelflair, and Vortex Pinnacle. In terms of how the pool is chosen, it's a smattering of ideas and philosophies there. Kind of what makes sense. Else there, like you pointed out, there's definitely not a coincidence. Embers of Neltharion. We have a dungeon from Legion called Neltharian's Lair. Embers of Neltharion. It also has Drogbar in it, and they're making an appearance again in the Zaralek Cavern. Sure, makes sense. Vortex Pinnacle. Feels like it has some story beats and implications to follow up on there, but there are also some fan favorites. Yeah, that's true. Freehold, great dungeon. Great dungeon. Great dungeon. Freehold's so good. Underrot, interesting. We take a look at Mythic Dungeon Pool, and as a cohesive experience, the way we look at a raid as one cohesive experience, and we want to make sure that we have coverage in terms of what kind of damage profiles we're asking you to do. What kind of utility are we asking you to do? And felt like Underrot has a lot of fun core WoW gameplay mechanics with interesting dispel profiles. Ooh, that's a scary thing to hear. I don't really remember the dispel profiles in Underrot. You know? Yeah, I don't remember. And sometimes Mythic Plus, as you scale higher and higher, if you don't have enough dispels, you're just screwed. Yeah, it's rough. It's very, very rough. Narrative is one consideration, but it doesn't mean that all of these things are super tightly tied to the core story. Sure. Brackenhide and dungeon difficulty. In a follow-up answer to a question from Jez at Windows Central, Morgan Day also mentioned that they're aware of the current feedback regarding Brackenhide and other Dragonflight dungeons. Planning to make changes, including fully removing some things that currently exist in Mythic Zeros. On top of that, trust us, we've heard the feedback. Hey, when Season 2 rolls around, if you've done Brackenhide on Mythic Zero first week, it's pretty hard. Definitely taking a close look at individual dungeons. 3 creatures that all need a kick rotation. Yeah, sure. That's kind of in some places right now, right? But if you do the bad pools, like 4 stars, if you pull 2 dudes, 2 of those, that first double pack of like Centaur, Mechano Beasts, or whatever the heck they are, very first pool, that have 2, they cast Charging Station and Suppress, so you have to have 4 kicks for 2 creatures. Brackenhide is going to be weird because there's a different type of limiting aspect in Brackenhide with the pace that you can go, because somebody has to stay behind after you kill the pack to unlock the cage. Right? So that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. You remember Rogue skipping packs in Underrot? I think it was after the first boss to get into the second boss. You wanted to avoid a bunch of things to start clearing the room around the second boss to ensure when he charges, he doesn't pull more things. If I remember it. Cool. I'm cautiously optimistic, which I feel is like the words that really encompass Dragonflight entirely. Cool. I'm happy about that. The other thing I didn't realize, this is post-stream recording this, the other thing I didn't realize was the tier sets actually got revealed as well, and I'm just going to do a brief glossing over them to see what they look like. I don't think any of the abilities were released, just the images. Interesting that there's a Blood Elf here, but I guess it's because it's a Demon Hunter, even though everything is statistically normally on a human, so it's odd. Okay, sure. Hunter looks kind of sweet. T-posing a little odd. I feel like this monk set is just Monk set redone the same way again? Maybe? Demon Hunter one. Meh. Evoker one. Meh, it doesn't matter. You'll never see it because they're like Dragon Boys the entire time. Shaman one, we're eating very good. Shaman, legit. I'm about it. Got some trench coat scale action. His warrior is kind of cool. Not really sure if you see this red too much in game. Seems odd. Or seems like kind of a bright choice, but I think it looks pretty good. But then again, I don't play warrior, so I don't really. Druid. Man, that's a big helmet. Wow. All right, sure. Mage. I really like mage sets that don't have robes. I like that a lot. That looks cool. It looks a little... Yeah, no, I like it. It's better than a lot of the sets have been for mages recently. I think it looks good. Rogue set. Just as emo as rogues like to be. Seems pretty on brand. Warlock set seems not fully in game yet. This just seems like a high rendered drawing so far. Because everybody else is T-posing, and this guy's still like almost an art form. You can even tell by the shading on the lighting. But it looks cool. I think it looks cool. Priest. This is like some Diablo shit, man. I forget. Tyrael? No, not Tyrael. I don't know. The guy, he's in the Boba game they made, whatever. Can't remember his name right now. That looks cool. Paladin set looks bland. Is bland the right word for this? Monotone? Bland. I think bland. DK set? Just like the monk, it feels like this set has been made before. I don't know. Yeah, I like the mage set. I think it's cool. What happened to your fingers? Oh, it's on all of them. Oh, that's really funny. I didn't know. Warlock set, I think, is going to be cool. This looks sweet. I'm excited to see that. Cool, cool, cool. I'm excited. Cautiously optimistic. I like it. Let me know what you guys think about Season 2 down in the comments. Appreciate you all. Have a good one.